Today's agenda is going to be about Samsung and Android settings, what you can do with it, where to find these settings, and some Galaxy AI features that are unique to what they call Galaxy AI that Samsung offers. And they're pretty interesting, so we'll cover some of those as well. So the first thing is where do you find settings? Regardless of what your home screen looks like on your phone, I made a little video recording here, and I'll show you that basically what you do is you swipe down from the top once, and then you'll get a few basic settings. But if you swipe down a second time, you get a what's called a quick view screen or quick look. I'm not sure if it's quick look or quick view, which Samsung calls it, but it includes all of these settings here. And then you can actually tap a gear and get to many more settings and options as well. And what you may see are things like advanced settings, but there are some great tips and other things that are in the settings as well. And we'll take a look on where to find them. Okay. Some of the things you can do in settings, as pretty much standard with most settings and most devices, is you can manage connections to your networks and cellular and Wi-Fi. You can manage your Samsung account if you have a Samsung phone, or your Google account if you have another Android. You get your software updates. There's tips. You can change and modify sounds, text size, display, more using Galaxy AI and a lot more. Virtually everything you can do in most types of devices settings allow you to do it. And settings are getting more and more consistent across all kinds of computers and devices. So Galaxy AI has four general areas that they offer some benefits for. One is in health and fitness. Photo editing is a feature, voice recording, and productivity tools. Now, in health and fitness, it's primarily designed to be used with a connected Samsung smartwatch, and it gives you the ability to make workout routines, connect cycling power meters. For those of you that don't know much about cyclists, cyclists that do cycling have what's called a power meter that actually measures how much power they're actually using in their pedal stroke. So it's great for cyclists. You can monitor energy levels, sleep metrics, and you can share health data with your family. Photo editing has some features now that give you the ability to add live effects, create animated stickers and GIFs, and copy clips from photos. A clip is a portion of a photo, not a cropped portion of a photo, but something you actually may highlight by clipping on it to make it work. You can do that. Voice and text have some features as well. In the voice recorder app, it'll automatically detect languages. You can edit voice recordings, you can get transcripts, you can turn your voice recordings into notes. It'll actually differentiate between different speakers, and you can translate and summarize PDFs as well. Although I haven't tried that, but apparently it works. For productivity, there's a function in Samsung that lets you translate phone calls in real time, translate text and images, and translate in listening mode, and gives you the ability to translate without having to have an internet connection. I actually used this on my trip in Colombia with my Samsung phone without having an internet connection, and was able to use it for live translate. We'll take a look at that if we have a chance today too. And then there are some generative features. With the Samsung keyboard, you're able to use a composer function to write and compose text right on your phone. You can turn sketches into images in notes. And a sketch is just a drawing with your finger or a pen. And there's ways to create unique portraits in the gallery. We'll take a selfie of me today and see what we can get out of that as well and show you some of the features. So they've really embedded and enhanced a lot of productivity and AI features into not only the settings, but also into the Galaxy AI capability. And there's a link to Galaxy AI. So they're calling it Galaxy AI, and they have a couple of features that they have that are available for you to use. They have Flex Cam, they have different views, they have summarizing notes. They're trying to promote, obviously, the latest model phones with the Flex window, but they can translate your calls instantly with Live Translate, make your photography really enhanced, keep tabs with your smartwatch as well, and they show you the devices that'll work with it and using Galaxy AI. So it's really a very enhanced feature that you can take advantage of. So in order to get to settings in the first place, we're going to talk about settings first, then we'll take a look at some of the AI features that we discussed. To get to settings, you swipe down on your phone once, and it brings up a quick view here of settings. There's airplane mode, there's screen rotation, there's a screen capture, your audio volume, your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi. They're all here really quickly. And there's a gear as well, but we're not going to tap the gear yet. What we're going to do is we're going to swipe down a second time. And the second time brings up what's called the quick view or quick look, okay? And there's a lot of screens here. There's a lot of information in the middle that shows you some settings functions that you can activate. And if you want to, you can actually scroll over. There's a little dot here, and that usually indicates that there's a second screen available. Okay, so that second screen gives you the ability to add and edit this quick settings view. So taking a screenshot's really easy just by tapping. It takes a screenshot for you and it puts it in the gallery. If I swipe down again, I get back to my settings. I can tap airplane mode. I can make my phone into a mobile hotspot, turn the flashlight on and off. Location is sharing GPS. It tells me that I'm connected to my Windows computer. I can record the screen. That's how I made my little recording that I did, that I used in PowerPoint. I can share things if I want to. And I have a couple of other things. So Dex is a feature that is that gives you some capabilities that I haven't explored yet. So I'm not that familiar with it. But Do Not Disturb lets you quiet your phone. You can scan a QR code. There's interpreter here, and the interpreter is part of Galaxy AI. They actually set it up here. Casting gives you the ability to cast your phone screen to a compatible Google device. Samsung TVs will let you cast your Samsung or Android phone to your TV. Modes gives you the ability to set it up for different views and different comfort levels and different ways of managing it. And multi-control is a multiple app screen. Samsung phones do give you the ability to show 2 apps at a time on a screen. And then you've got some standard settings here. Device control with SmartThings is for Samsung's home automation, Internet of Things, where you can control some Samsung devices there. And of course, you've got Bluetooth and Android here. So what is interesting is that this gear, we'll take a look at it in a minute. This is a power button, and this is an edit button. So the edit button is a pencil, and that's how you actually edit this screen right here. If you tap on that, it gives you the ability to edit what's called Quick Settings Instant Access. And this is the quick access top view. So when you swipe down once, you get the top view. When you swipe down twice, you get the full view. And if you ever want to add a setting or an available button or remove one, you just tap that pencil and it gives you the ability to change the different things here if you want to. And so there's multiple dots here. So you can swipe over and see what types of things are available to you. to manage and use if you want to. So you have the ability to add, say, create note to your quick settings. So if I wanted to add that, I'd tap that, and now I have create note added to my quick settings here. If I wanted to delete it, I could delete it. I'm going to actually add it because it's really convenient just to swipe down sometimes. You can reset it to factory settings, or you can tap done. One of the things I added was this thing called wireless power. It was an available button, and I added it because I thought this is interesting. You can actually use your Samsung or Android phone. Most Android phones will do this as a battery pack. So if you take something, excuse me just a second. I have a pair of Apple AirPods here. And if I take this and I put it on the back of my device, I can actually charge it using my Samsung battery to actually be a charging device if I want to. So I'm going to tap, I have to have it done, and then I go out of edit by tapping this. But if I swipe down here and I go to power sharing, it turns it on, and you can see, put the center of your phone back to back with another device like this, and it actually will charge something. Now you have to have your phone at 30% battery, but if you're stuck in some situation and you don't have the ability to charge something, you can actually use your wireless power setting to do that. It's really, really convenient. One thing you can do also is if you swipe down once and you tap on the gear, that brings up the entire settings view of your device. So it gives you ability to manage settings very traditionally, like other devices do. So you can manage connections, you can manage connected devices, you can look at Galaxy AI. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Modes and routines gives you the ability to set it up while you're driving or in theater mode so you aren't disturbed. You can set up your sounds and vibrations, your notifications, your display, your battery information, and you can customize your wallpaper and style, themes, your home screen layout, your lock screen, manage your security like your biometrics, handle location, set up medical information, manage accounts, manage Google services. So your Google services are listed here, and you can use Google Backup, but you actually are connected to your Google account, and you can do some things. So you can use autofill, find my device, other features if you want to. So you have the ability to access your Google account, because on Samsung devices, you have a Samsung account and a Google account, and they make them separate for you. There's advanced features with labs. We'll take a look at that. Some digital well-being, different apps functions, keyboard management, accessibility features, and then tips and user guide. Tips is really convenient as well. So Call Assist gives you the ability and explains each one of these in the Galaxy AI. It gives you real-time translation during calls. So you tap the Call Assist button and then select Live Translate in the in-call screen anytime to start translating. And it will give you the ability to handle different languages if you want to. You have to turn it on in order for it to be active during a call. I haven't tried that. Chat Assist. Chat Assist will do chat translation, not only in the native of text messaging, but it will also give you the ability to use Chat Assist in WhatsApp on your Android phone. And it's being expanded to go into other messages as well. So you can give it the ability to follow it. You can download language packs if you want to and turn it on. You might have to turn some of these features on or off. Interpreter gives you the ability to do live translation as an interpreter. And You can record them if you want to. We'll take a look at Interpreter. I use that. Note Assist will give you the ability to use and summarize notes or recordings and generate content, and that's where it converts features into sketches into images. A transcript gives you the ability to take text, create text transcripts from your voice recorder. We'll take a look at the voice recorder in Samsung. Browsing Assist will give you some summaries in the Samsung browser. I don't know if it does it in the Chrome browser, but I know it does it in the Samsung browser. And then there's Photo Assist, which can give us the ability to change some photos and add, remove, and resize people. And Drawing Assist, which will create smart drawings from sketches in Samsung Notes. They've added just a lot of AI features into the Samsung Galaxy AI capability. So let's take a look at something I used while I was traveling. It's called Interpreter, and you can put the Interpreter icon on your home screen, or you can get to it through the settings here by tapping on that. It'll bring up Interpreter. So if I tap on the microphone for English to have it translating into Spanish, so if I say, "Hi everyone on this call, I hope you're able to understand me."
Hola, todos en esta llamada. Espero que puedan entenderme.
Now, one of the cool things about Translate is that there's a little icon right here that gives you the ability to turn it into a screen that two people can read at the same time without having to constantly turn the phone back and forth. If you tap on English, it'll give you the ability to change different languages, and you can add languages. They're expanding them on an ongoing basis to download the language packs. This doesn't rely on an internet connection to do the translation. The translation's done on the phone itself. So that's one of the things that Galaxy AI does that was really convenient. The other thing is in Notes. Okay, so I can tap the compose icon here, and it'll bring up a couple of options. There's a AI icon here that I can use to do things with. So if I tap that AI icon, I can do some things. If I can auto format, summarize a note, correct spelling, and translate right from any note that I might have. Now, if I tap on the sketch tool and I type in a sketch here, and I'm just going to draw a Halloween figure here, and I've got this sketch now. If I tap on the AI icon here, I can change this sketch to an image. So if I tap sketch to image, it says trace around the drawing. You want to convert to an image, and it's going to generate it. And I can choose different styles: watercolor, illustration, sketch, pop art, 3D cartoon. I'll take watercolor, and we'll see what it comes up with when I tap generate. It's going to bring my sketch to life. Okay, so it's another way for doing things, and it created a little 3D perspective of that. Kind of interesting that you can do that. So obviously, if you have something else, you're drawing a duck, or if you're drawing a cartoon or something like that, it gives you the ability to do that. And I can add that to my note, and it's embedded in my note here as an image if I want to use it that way. Just like amazing little tools that are here. Okay, so if I'm going to take a selfie here of myself. Let me get a good selfie here. Okay, so now I've got a selfie. And in the gallery, there's an AI icon. If you tap that AI icon, it brings up a couple of options here. So I can use something called Portrait Studio, So, and I can choose whether I want to convert this portrait of me to a comic, a 3D cartoon, a watercolor, or a sketch. And then I tap generate. And it's going to generate up some portraits of me for that I can choose from. It's going to do it automatically. It's really pretty neat. So there's my sketch portrait, right? And I get a couple of different views here if I want to. I can generate it again, or I can say I want a watercolor portrait, and it'll generate a watercolor. So all of this is built into Galaxy AI on your Samsung, phone here, and it's kind of interesting. It does some interesting perspective on things, and you can save a copy, and it might put a watermark on it in your photo, but now it's in your photo gallery that you have the ability to work with it. There is some ability to edit a photo. So if I want to draw something around something and remove it, like if I want to try and remove this area here that I don't like and see if it'll work it. So I can touch it and I can move it around on the screen and change it, or I can modify it. And if I care to do it, I can generate and it'll fill in the remaining area. I hope. I cross my fingers on this. I haven't done this yet with the image, but we're going to see if it creates a new scenery there. Yeah, I kind of took that background, that out, if I wanted to use it that way. So obviously, if you have somebody in the photo you don't want in the photo, you can take it out. Google Photos has done this for a while, but now it's built into the gallery with Samsung AI, and you don't ever destroy your original. You always can get your original back if you want to and see what it looks like. And you would save a copy if you wanted to do that. So those are some of the features. Now, the voice recorder is kind of interesting. If I make a recording here, hi, this is Bob, and I'm going to talk about voice recorder right now and see what we can do with voice recorder. We've got a voice recording, and I have a transcribe button right away. If I hit transcribe, it's going to transcribe this voice recording into English. It'll auto-detect the language, and it identified me as speaker one. I can tap on summary, and it'll summarize the voice recording for me. So if you're in a lecture or if you're listening to a Zoom call or something like that, like we are now, if you're in a lecture, a Zoom call, anything like that, you can tap on the voice recording. It'll record the voice and it'll transcribe it for you and summarize it as well. So anytime you're listening to anything, you have the ability to do that with the voice recorder app that's built into Samsung devices. Now, this is Samsung's app. So if you look at the app on the home screen, it's the voice recorder. I use the camera. I'm not using the Google apps. Google does have apps that do some things here that are convenient as well, but I'm using the Samsung apps because they have these Galaxy AI functions built into them. And they're just kind of interesting to work with. If you ever want to try them out. If you have an A23 or an A24, I believe you can use it. And when you want to get rid of notifications, you just swipe here. You just swipe down to get to your quick settings. If you want to edit that, you would tap on edit, and you can modify the quick settings you have to be able to look at it. And then it explains a little bit about how to get instant access. You can access them, in a couple of different ways. It gives you an option to turn it, how you get to it by swiping down. You can turn it onto something different if you're interested. And you're able to contact Samsung if you ever want to contact them from quick settings as well for support or help with your device. And you can text chat You can go to remote management here, and you can check news diagnostics if you want to. Now, we're going to take a look at the settings with the gear, and we're going to take a look at something called tips. So tips and user guide will give you some quick ways to take a look at your phone, how to unlock the power of it. Basic features that you can get to, personalizing, how you navigate around, sharing power, take quick screenshots if you want to, modify your settings if you want to, and match different things to it if you're interested in doing that. And then, working with apps and productivity. So the tips will give you all kinds of help to be able to really, really utilize it in a variety of ways without, having to go to a user manual. Pictures and videos will show you how you can do things like extracting text, get perfectly level shots, organize your pictures, take quick videos, erase shadows and reflections, get your emojis working, and then, working with your connected devices, how to connect to other Samsung devices and with link to Windows, which is what I'm using right now. We're actually looking at my Samsung phone on my Windows computer by using the link to Windows feature that is in Windows that gives us availability. And then if you really want, you can just, go into the whole user guide and download it if you want to, but it'll give you a whole lot of access to everything you might be interested in doing. Now, we didn't do it in notes. Let me bring up notes again. And if I bring up a new note and I start writing, one of the things I can do is I can tap the compose button. And by that tapping that AI button, let me go back. If I tap this little compose button on the keyboard, so there's an AI function here, but there's also an AI function that's below this kind of gray area. This is part of the keyboard. So if I tap on that, it gives me something called Composer. So now I can start by writing a main idea. Okay, write a short 100-word description of Galaxy AI. Now, if I can modify some things here with the standard and the polite view, standard, email, social media, or comment, and I can change it from polite, casual, professional. But if I tap generate, it's going to compose it for me. And so now it's actually composed it. So it sometimes it does okay, sometimes it doesn't. So this kind of gave it a generic, AI look for it. So not really happy with that, but you can use it. You can then copy it and put it into another document or insert it into your note if you want to, and keep it as your note. So I haven't used a lot of it yet. I tend to use ChatGPT more than I use the Samsung AI, but it's a capability that's in there with the keyboard on it. So you'll see this symbol popping up more and more and more in applications. This kind of has become the standard symbol for AI capabilities if you're interested. So whenever you do something and you have an app, you can translate it. So let's take that note we just did, and we'll tap the AI feature and we'll say, translate it. And we're going to generate a translation. We can pick Spanish US, and it's going to translate it for us right away on our phone. So it's a pretty good translation. I've learned a little bit more Spanish when I was in Colombia, and it's a pretty good translation here that it's doing. So these are all things that are right on your phone that are getting done really quickly, so that it saves you having to go out to the internet and do a lot of things. That was just a quick overview of what you can do with Samsung settings. Android settings will look very similar to Samsung settings on your device, but the Galaxy, AI is strictly for Samsung capabilities. Well, thank you, everybody.